Hi, my name's Bethany. I'm the girl behind Well Love Knits, and today I just wanted to have a casual video to just chat with you guys and share a little progress update on some of the things that I've been working on lately. I don't have too many projects this time. Normally, I don't really go for, having a lot of works in progress at once. Maybe the most that I've had is like 4, but even then, some of them were kind of like abandoned projects. So active works in progress. Normally I have about 2 to 3. And that's really what I want to show you today, because a couple of weeks ago I shared with you my summer knitting plans, and I do have a couple of projects that I've been working on from that list, and I've made some pretty good progress on them. So I just wanted to sit down with you guys and just chat with you, share a little bit of a progress update. So if you want to sit and listen to me while I ramble on, no doubt, grab a cup of tea, grab your knitting, and let's get started. So honestly, it's very hot in my office right now. A couple of the past week or so, it's just been raining and cold, so I think I'm very sensitive to even just the slightest bit of heat. This is honestly like the first day of sun that I think we've seen in a while, so I'm really thankful for that. But I think I've kind of just gotten way too sensitive, and this Belgian weather as well. It's very mild in comparison to what I'm used to. So I grew up in maybe the south of the US, so a lot more humid than it is here, and a lot hotter than it is here. So I'm actually really thankful for the weather in Belgium. It's very mild, very cool, but this summer has been unseasonably cool, at least for the past 4 years that I've lived here. So I'm enjoying it though, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a pale person, so I get burnt really easily, so I'm not even gonna pretend that I'm very upset about that, but it is nice to see the sun and get some that vitamin D. But anyway, let's just go straight into the projects. I've been enjoying knitting on these projects the past couple of weeks. I've really slowed down mentally, and I've laid off the pressure on myself to really get things done. I think I've mentioned it a couple of times that I'm kind of a knitter that's very goal oriented. I want to get the projects done. I really want to have progress and finish things. I think, especially with the summer, I'm personally not somebody who loves summer projects all that much. I'm always wanting to knit really cozy sweaters. I find that those projects bring me the most joy at the end as well. So for summer, it's just been nice to get a little bit creative with some of the things that I've done, and then also, just press pause, really just be more intentional with my knitting. So it's nice to have seasons like that where you kind of change your mindset on knitting. I don't know if you guys get that way too. But so that really just is my really long way of saying that I don't have a lot of finished objects that are new. Honestly, it's just the scrunchies that I made, and I shared with you all last week. So if you haven't already seen that video, go check it out. I just made a couple of scrunchies. Honestly, so much fun to make, actually very addictive. You know how some knitters have socks that they always have? They always have at least one pair of socks going, I think that's what scrunchies are gonna be for me. I haven't cast one on again yet, but I have a couple of ideas in mind, some patterns that I wanna do, motifs, like some kind of plaid or polka dot type patterns. I don't know. Get creative with it, because like I've mentioned so many times and you've seen so many times, I have a whole bunch of mohair, and I think my favorite combination, or not combination, but my favorite outcome of that last week's video was this giant mohair scrunchie, particularly because the mohair is so soft. And even some of you were mentioning that silk mohair could actually be really good on your hair, it could be very nice and it wouldn't split your hair or anything like that. And I had the same thought as well, so I want to make maybe more tame scrunchies, like a normal size scrunchie, because I also really love this one too. But these are honestly the only finished objects that I have. But when I say only, this one did actually take a while. It took a couple of days to knit. on and off, because again, I am still being very gentle on my wrists. If you didn't know, I kind of experienced a wrist injury like a month or so ago, so I've been really just trying to take care of it. And I can go into a little bit about what I've done if you guys are interested, if you're curious to hear about how I've been like working through that. Basically, it's just wrist braces and compression gloves and collagen supplements, but I could share more details about that. If you guys are interested, just let me know and I'll do it next time. Smaller projects, less finished objects, just to make sure that my wrists are taken care of. So that's my only finished object, but that means we can go into the works in progress. So I do have a couple that I want to show you. So which one do I show first? Well, let's go into a summer one, right? And this is Camisole number 4, where I've gotten so far. I think I've been making really good progress on this. And I've only started picking it up in the last couple of days. It's been really like the project that I've been wanting to focus on. But I did do a couple of things that are different here. So Camisole number 4 is 2x2 broken rib, I think is what it's called. So you do stockinette and then the word is garter stitch. So you do stockinette and garter stitch 2x2, and you work that all the way around in the rib. So you start up at the top and then work your way down, joining all the different corners of the camisole. So a couple of things. The pattern calls for a provisional cast-on method, and I didn't do that because actually I was just purely lazy. I just decided not to. I mean, I don't know why I didn't. I could have learned something new there, but I just decided not to do that. So I'm gonna have to pick up stitches to work the I-cord later on. And then one thing that I did that was completely different from what the pattern really calls for is when I worked a swatch for this camisole, I noticed that the fiber that I was working with the needles, it was very gapey. Like there were gonna be a lot of holes in it. And as opposed to sizing down, I just thought that the only issue that it would really have is around like the boob area. So I decided to, instead of doing garter stitch in the center, where I work out all of the increases, I decided to do like a stockinette. So I knit instead of doing garter stitch. I actually really like the way it turned out. I think it's kind of like a crossover between camisole number 2 and camisole number 4, in my opinion. The only thing is that I didn't take into account that the stockinette down here, eventually it will have like this really stark ending. So like the increases will go out and it almost makes like this rainbow shape. But when I got to that point, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I could just continue and go straight down in stockinette stitch and just have a line from the top to the bottom, similarly to camisole number 2. But then that would require me to add on 4 extra stitches at each point so that I could have garter stitch in between. I know that this might be really complicated, but basically I was gonna have to add on more stitches to make that effect. And I just decided not to do that. So it's kind of doing like a little, yeah, like a rainbow shape almost. And I mean, I haven't tried it on, so I don't know if that's gonna look really strange around that area, but for right now, I don't think it's really gonna be that much of an issue. The bamboo is really nice to work with. So I've mentioned it before. It's from the Yarn Lovers and it was kindly gifted to me in this like really beautiful gray color. I really love it. I really like working with it. It's very stretchy and it produces a very nice like squishy material. And I think that once I wash and block it when I'm done, it will drape really nicely. So right now it's kind of like bunched up. Definitely will be a little bit longer and bigger when I wash and block it. Yeah, I'm just hoping it's gonna just drape and sit really nicely when it's all done. So I'm excited to work on this, to finish it, really. I want to get it done before summer. That's why I started ramping up the amount of time that I've been working on this. I've been really making this my focus project for a little while. Also because I needed a little bit of a break from my other work in progress, which I'll get to in a second. Another thing though, I've just been kind of inspired. We'll see if I have enough energy, but I actually like the wrong side of this design. So if on the other side you see there's like garter stitch bumps as the main bump, like the ribbed effect where it's just garter stitch, I don't know. I always love the wrong side of work, and I always wonder like what it would look like if it were the right side, you know? And I actually think that this would be really cute. So if I do have enough energy, I might go back, or I might start a new one and just lead with all of these garter stitch bumps as like the right side. And then obviously I would change the middle bit. So almost do it correctly instead of what I did earlier. Instead of what I did with this one, where I changed the center, I would actually keep it the same, but then just go for the wrong side. I don't know, I just think it would be really cool. Let me know what you guys think, maybe I'm crazy. I also really love the purl side of stockinette stitch, which I don't think many people really like it, but I really like it, so. This is only one skein of that yarn, by the way, the bamboo yarn that I'm working with. I have 4 skeins of the bamboo yarn, and this is only one skein, so it goes really far, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, all in all, a really good experience. I think that this has been working up pretty quickly for how small the needle size is. It's just been a lot of fun to knit. I would really recommend this pattern. I do always really love My Favorite Things knitwear though, so she knows how to write patterns that are real staple pieces, which I really admire, and I want to do the same. So yeah, can't recommend her patterns enough. Really liking it. Right. So this one has been my second work in progress. My main work in progress though is this cardigan pattern right here, which I did share in my last work in progress update video, and I didn't even like, do you guys do this too? I kind of just like left off on the middle. Let me just finish this up because this would make it a little bit easier for me to show you what the heck I'm doing. Right, that's a little bit better. Okay. I don't know if you guys are the same way I am. I know that's probably not a good thing because then I can like drop stitches and all that, but I do just sometimes leave things halfway. I never finish a row and then I just put it somewhere and I deal with the consequences later. Okay, so yes, this is the Novice Cardigan Chunky Edition by Petite Knit. I mentioned it in a couple of videos ago that I was knitting this for someone else. So another great thing about what I've been working on lately is that not all of them are for me. Well, there's really only 2. One of them's not for me, and it's this one. So the Novice Cardigan by Petite Knit is a very beginner-friendly pattern. I think it's probably, well, the Novice Cardigan, beginner cardigan. It's an easy knit for someone who is new to knitting. I really love the construction of this cardigan. It's a circular yoke, so it's not like raglan where you have points around the yoke where you would make increases. Instead, it calculates making increases throughout the entire yoke, which kind of makes it look seamless in a way. So let's see if you can see this. I also have a lot of needles hanging off, so I'm sorry if there's a lot of clinking and clanking. You know, it might be pretty loud. But here is what I've got right now. I'm almost done with the body. I think it looks great. I really love this color as well. Not that it's for me, so I hope the person that will receive this also really loves the color. I just think that it will be a really nice, yeah, happy, bright cardigan for this person who will receive it. Right, so this cardigan you cast on in ribbing, like you can see up here, and then after you work the ribbed collar, you start making increases every couple of rounds. There's a calculation with circular yokes. This is honestly the second time that I've done a circular yoke, and it actually turned out really nice this time because I actually did the anchor tee by Petite Knit, and I unraveled it because it didn't actually turn out. I think my tension was too tight, I knit the wrong size or something. Anyway, or with the wrong fiber. Didn't fit me, so I took it apart, but I definitely didn't know what I was doing at that time, and I know now what I'm doing. So I think it looks really good. There are no holes, which is really great. So it's a very seamless increase, and I think it looks really good. To knit this cardigan, I am using Drops Air and Drops Kids Silk knit together to create this really nice fabric. I think it's a nice sage green for both of them. I'm really wondering if it's the camera that picks it up like a gray or what, but the sage green on camera I think looks really gray in comparison to how it looks in real life. And this is a lot more pale, like a palish green. There's definitely a lot of white within the Drops Air sage green. So like next to each other, they really don't look like the same color at all. It's actually surprising that they're both called sage green because these are two separate colors, to be honest. But that being said, I really like the way that the fabric comes out with them knit together. I actually did get a question from somebody asking why I'm combining these two fibers together. Because honestly, it's a fair question because Drops Air itself is very soft anyway, so why would I add in the mohair? And really, honestly, it's just to have that nice fuzzy halo that the mohair provides. I don't know if you can tell. But any sweater with mohair in it, I feel like just has a better like fabric. It almost feels more sturdy because it has like that added strand, I suppose. And then it also does add an extra it just adds in a little extra bit of softness that I think this sweater really benefits from. And I'm hoping that it will make, I don't know, the fibers come together really nice and have a nice sturdy cardigan is what I'm really hoping for. So I'm very happy with the progress that I have so far. I think I will be able to cast off today the ribbing for this sweater, the bottom ribbing. And then I'll be able to pick up the stitches here on one of the sleeves and just knit and hopefully finish this cardigan very soon because it's knit on 6.5mm needles, I think. Yeah, 6.5 and then 6 for the rib detail. And yeah, again, this is supposed to be like a very beginner-friendly sweater, so very vanilla, nothing too complicated. It's been such a nice mindless knit to have. And yeah, sometimes you just need a project like that. So that's why I've been really enjoying these two projects right now because the Camisole number 4 is obviously, even still, it might look complicated, but it's actually not very, but it has some variation in it that keeps your mind a little active. And, you know, if I'm interested in working on something that I need to have a little bit more focus on, I can pick that one up. And then with the Novice Cardigan, honestly, it's just knitting and purling. It's nothing, you know, it's very mindless in my opinion. So, both of them are really nice. And it's been really great that the weather has been as cool as I mentioned before because it wasn't so miserable to knit with this sweater on me. So those are my two main ones. I do still have one work in progress that I'm counting as a work in progress, even though I haven't really touched it in a couple of weeks. It is my Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit. Again, I think I did an update on this recently as well in the same video as the Novice Cardigan. And I actually finished one of the sleeves. So in my last update about unfinished objects, really all all I had to do was cast on or pick up stitches for the sleeve, do this sleeve, and then do I-cord around the neckline, all of which you wouldn't think would take very long, but this is on like 3mm needles, something very small, so it is time consuming. Even though it doesn't seem like it would be, it has been taking me a little while, and it's not as nice to knit with those really, really small needles with my wrist. So been very slow with it, very intentional, all very good. I will finish it before summer ends, I swear. I am determined to do that because now I need to just pick up for the sleeve and then do the I-cord. In all, I'm very happy with how it's working still. You know, not too much else to say about it because I did mention before the fiber that I'm using. I'll go ahead and mention it again. It is Cattail Silk by Pearl Soho, and it has like this really nice colorful variation in it if you look at it very closely. One of the things though, I don't think this was probably the best fiber for me to use for like I-cord and such because it has a nice drape, but the I-cord kind of looks messy the way I cast it off. I don't know. Maybe it was, did I do it too loosely or what I did, but I'm just not happy with how it kind of looks. I don't know, maybe we'll see after I block it and see if that changes it. I'm assuming that maybe the drape will be even nicer with this silk, a little bit softer maybe, because right now it's very rough. It's a very textured fabric. So we'll see. Anyway, it's just gonna be a nice neutral top to have. I do think when I get to finishing the Novice Cardigan, I'll have a lot more time to pick this up. In all, I think the pattern itself is really clear. It's just time consuming, maybe for new knitters or those who are just used to knitting with chunky needles. This is definitely a project you're in for it for the long haul. So I would keep that in mind if you wanted to work on this project. Still to be determined about the silk, this silk option. I mean, very textured. It has a nice drape to it, I can already tell, and I'm hoping that it will soften up afterwards, after the blocking. But yeah, like I said, this I-cord edge, I'm not quite happy with it at the moment. Just the way that it's sitting now. Maybe it'll look better after blocking. Or let's see how I do on the second sleeve. Maybe I do it better this time. It could be that I just cast off too loosely because I didn't want, I don't know, to accidentally do it too tight. You know, I-cords are funny that way. So I'm happy with it. I hope I'm gonna be able to finish it. I will be able to finish it once I get one of these other whips off my needles. Because, you know, the gift, it's very important to finish it as soon as I can. I don't want to be holding on to it for too long. So that's where my priorities are at the moment. And I think I'll be able to finish that one very soon. So those are really the projects that I've been working on most actively. I think it's a good amount. You know, I have moments where I churn out a lot of things, like a lot of projects, obviously during the winter when I can use chunkier needles. So like I said before, it has been really nice just to be a little bit more intentional and slower and not worry so much about deadlines and just knitting for myself and for others, like for myself in the sense for the joy of knitting, and then for others to give the project to somebody else. So that's been really nice. I do have a couple of acquisitions that I wanted to share as well, some new yarn to show. Let's see. So first of all, I got a really lovely package not too long ago from Ithaca Yarns and Cardiff Cashmere. They're both based in Italy, I believe. And they gave me some beautiful skeins. Look at these little skeins. They're so cute, so soft. I love this little tag as well. First impression, very soft, as you would imagine that cashmere would be. These skeins were kindly gifted to me by both Ithaca Yarns and Cardiff Cashmere. The brand is Cardiff Cashmere. It is their classic cashmere skein. And very light. It's only 25 grams and it's 112 meters and recommended for 3.5 to 4.5 needles. Very nice. I don't even know what to do with these. I think it's going to be a really cute color, or it's going to be, whoop. I'm really excited to dive into these skeins, but I'm really resisting because, like I said, I have all these things going on and I really need to finish some UFOs, so I am trying to be very patient to open this up and start casting on and doing things. When they first reached out to me, Etika Yarns and Cardiff Cashmere, when they first reached out to me, I had in mind what I would want to use with these, but I'm not sure I have enough. So still too soon to tell. I would love your suggestions if you have any. My original thought was going to be knitting sweater number 15. I did this last time. I can't remember if it's sweater number 15 or 14 or 16. It's one of those. It's the cable sweater by My Favorite Things Knitwear. That was what I first had in mind, but that's a very oversized fit, and now calculating the number of meters recommended in the pattern versus what I have here, I think I'm just like a skein or two shy. So what I could do is purchase some more of this skein or this cashmere, which I might do. But I'm gonna knit up a swatch first and see how I will go about doing this, because I was also thinking about mixing it with one skein of silk mohair. And I asked you guys over on Instagram if that was sacrilege, and most of you said go for it. Some of you said how dare you, so still trying to make my mind up on that one. But I do really want to thank, I love receiving yarn. It's amazing. It's such a joy to be able to receive such a gift, and I never would have thought that I could work with cashmere before, so I really want to say thank you to the team. I do want to say though that I don't think the pictures, at least the pictures that I saw on the website, were very true to the product. This is much greener, like more minty green than I had thought it was going to be. I believe it's their runner color. They don't have it here. Color is 591. Lot number is 9152. So just compared to the website, when I was looking at it, I thought I was getting something a little bit more like this. Not quite, but a little bit more dusty than this really vibrant minty green color. I still really love the color, but that's also why I would like to mix with silk mohair, because I think it could help make the color a little bit more muted for my liking. I mean, not to say that I don't like it, it's just I'm somebody who's a little bit more conservative on color, I suppose. I know, after knitting this, how is that true? But this is for a hair accessory versus a sweater, so that's just where my thoughts are at right now. So I was thinking about ordering Knitting for Olive silk mohair in Dusty Artichoke, I think is the color. Just one skein, and then I can kind of see, would that look okay? Because I've also been really curious about that silk mohair as well. I hear really great things about it. So I was thinking about mixing those two to kind of get the color that I was hoping for. But we'll see. I also just don't know if that's gonna be a little too wild, because sometimes if you mix two very different colors together, then it doesn't produce the fabric that you want, which is why it's really important for me to knit up a swatch before I figure out what I want to do with it. Otherwise, probably just a simple sweater for me. If I don't end up doing the large cable sweater and ordering extra skeins for that. We'll see though, the options are endless. I would really love to know what you guys would do with these skeins, because that might also help me figure out what I want to do as well. I'm really excited to start working with this, and if you guys are curious, just let me know and maybe we could do a little review about this yarn once I've started to work with it. Like I said, I'm gonna wait a little while to do that, but would love to share my thoughts with it. So far, my impressions are really great. And yeah, thanks so much again to the team for sending this to me. Now, last but not least, another acquisition is in this bag, which is full of yarn. So this one I actually purchased with my own money. These are skeins from the Yarn Lovers. The same place where I was gifted the bamboo yarn, I went ahead and purchased from the Yarn Lovers because they were having a sale recently, and I love a good sale. I have been trying to be a lot better, and I think I am succeeding in not spending too much on yarn and going crazy on sales. Normally, this year I've basically been trying to skip sales altogether, but this is the second time that I've kind of caved because I saw this and I wanted to give it a try. So it is actually a 5 skein pack. So it's actually a 5 skein pack of Egyptian cotton by the Yarn Lovers. Right, so I have 2 different colors that I went for here. You can mix and match with the packs that they have, which I really like. It's really cool. I got it in black and off-white. So 2 skeins of white and 3 skeins of black, because I am inspired. I got even more inspired by the color combination that I did in the scrunchie video last week when I was mixing colors to kind of have like a mixed media, kind of like yeah, have that really nice variation in colors. I really love the look of 2 contrasting strands knit together. So for this yarn, I really want to do that with black and white, obviously. So knitting with 2 strands together. I don't think I'm going to need more than 4. So, you know, 1 of each color or 2 of each color for what I'm planning on making. But, you know, the pack came in 5, so I decided to get 1 extra color of black because I think I have some white yarn hanging around somewhere, so I could easily substitute that as well. So what I want to make is a market bag with these. I just want to do something nice and quick, knit together on chunkier needles. You know, handbags, knit bags are all the rage recently over on Instagram. A lot of people are knitting those. It's been a lot of fun to see that because crochet bags are so popular, and now people are trying to figure out how to knit their own. So I have an idea on what I want to do for a knit bag, and I want to make it come to life. So I wanted to do it with these skeins from the Yarn Lovers. You know, it's just a simple cotton skein. I will say that I really like this yarn because it has like a matte finish to it, which is really nice. But it is still kind of softer than some yarn that I've used, like organic cotton that I've had, which is really like rough. I used it for my Camisole number 2 actually. It's like this mauve cotton, and that one's really rough. This one has a little bit more sleekness to it. I don't really know how to describe it, but I like it more than compared to Shiny Happy Cotton and the cotton from We Are Knitters, because I find that cotton is so slippery. I don't actually like working with it because, yeah, it is very slippery. I like it in some moments, but then every time I've been working with it recently, I just, yeah, I'm not crazy about it. Sometimes, maybe that is all cotton. I'm just not really, I don't work with cotton all that much, so I don't know if that drape that the Shiny Happy Cotton and the cotton from We Are Knitters gives is just cotton in general, but I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more structured, and I think this will be a good compromise between like the really rough cotton that I've gotten from some discount store compared to this one here. So I'm interested to see how it works up. I can't tell you how it is at the moment. I'm still, again, waiting to cast these on before, I am waiting to cast on projects until I finish up one of these. So there's still some time for me to figure that out, but I thought it would be just like a fun, quick project. I might share it with you guys if you're interested in seeing how I go about making that, I am happy to make a video about it. Just let me know. I know I'm asking for a lot of feedback in this video, but I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys being here and listening to me as always, It's really nice to be able to share knitting, the passion for knitting with you guys and what I've been working on. And then also it's just fun to share like tips on projects and stuff. I will not say that I'm not the expert. I never claimed to be an expert, but I do like sharing how I go about making certain projects in the hopes to kind of, show you guys that you don't have to be an expert to make some nice things for yourself and for others as well. So yeah, but that's really all I have to share with you guys today. Like I said, been very intentional with my knitting. I don't have a whole laundry list of things to show you. I hope you did enjoy seeing a couple of things that I have ongoing. I just can't work with too many projects, otherwise they're all just going to be abandoned. So I'm trying as best I can to just like rein that in a little bit and make sure that I'm making things in a proper way, really trying to focus on what I'm making and then seeing that to the end, because otherwise I'll have spent all this money on yarn and then not make anything with it and just leave it abandoned. So anyway, yeah, I would really love to know what you guys are working on, because it also helps inspire me too. What are you knitting on in this video? Would be really curious to know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish my Novice Cardigan body so that I can get working on the sleeves, because I'm really looking forward to finishing that, sewing on buttons and getting that into a finished place so that I can finally gift it to the person that deserves it. Thank you guys so much for watching and keeping me company while I just ramble on about what I'm working on. I hope you guys are having a really great day. I hope you have some sunshine near you, because it's been really lovely just to see the sun for me. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.